what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, Lone Wolf 902. Today we're going to be talking about a new knife that I just received, and huge thank you to who sent this to me, because this was actually sent to me from a subscriber, and I'm very, very happy to receive it. Very happy. This knife is outstanding. So this is the second main knife that I have in my possession right now. I have my custom-made knife from Peter LePay that I use a lot. I also have this Cudeman. Okay, so it does have a very nice leather sheath. You can wear it both vertical or horizontal. You'll often see me wear this on my hip with the two little Velcros, strap it on to my belt. I also like this when I'm in my hammock, because I actually run this on my ridgeline, strap it in so it's up above when I'm sleeping. If I need it, it's there. Nice little snap, pull the knife out. Pretty generic sheath, but very, very nice. And it's got the Cudeman logo there, a little elephant face. Very nice sheath. So let's talk about the knife. This is the Cudeman MT5. It is with a white kind of ivory scales. It does have red liners on there. It's quite a hefty knife. It's got some very nice jimping on here. I do like jimping, not on every knife, but on this knife, it feels really good to get a good grasp if you're doing fine work or whatnot. That jimping really does help. So we do have the Cudeman logo on there. And talking about the steel, it says it's an N695 Bowler made in Spain. So I'm not a huge metal quality guy. I don't do a lot of that on my channel, but it is recognizable to me, and I'm going to do a little bit more research on it to find out. It does tarnish. So you do have to keep it oiled and keep good care of it. You don't just want to let it laying out in the winter or in the rain and it get wet and kind of rust up. So you do have to take good care of it and maintain it. But overall, I mean, I've had this knife for a little while now, and I've had it out in rain, I've had it out in humidity, and it performs. It does perform very, very well. It is a chunkier blade, so it is nice and thick on the spine. It does work very well for batoning. I have batoned with it, I've carved with it, I've done wood processing with it, both feather sticks and batoning. And this thing, when I received it, was razor sharp, and it's still very, very, very sharp. So he tells me, I haven't done any research on this a whole lot yet, but the individual that sent it to me also added that the lanyard hole and the hole up front of the blade right there is actually used for paracord for lashing to a spear. So you can actually lash this to a stick and use it as a long spear, which I think is pretty cool. So it's a nice little multi-use item, not only a knife, it almost is kind of a hatchet in itself, because it's got that heft, it's got that quality. It's built very, very nice, very nice. I haven't found any flaw in the knife at all. And like I said, I use my tools, I use my stuff, I don't baby it. It is a tool, it will get dirty, it will get messed up. Bring it home, even right now, it's pretty filthy dirty. I've processed food with it. It works very well. It's a great all-around knife, and it's not a huge knife either. It's not overly big, it's not overly small. With the sheath that it comes with, it is very, very nice for a side carry. That's really how I like to carry this, with the handle facing forward. That way, when I reach over, unsnap, I can pull the knife out. There it is. I can slide it back in, no issues. It's not going to fall out. It's in there very nicely. The sheath itself does have a lanyard hole as well, so if you do want to hang this or clip it to something, you can. All in all, I'm really happy with it, and I'm more impressed with the generosity of the individual who sent this to me, because it was new. He didn't use it, and he said, hey, listen, I really want you to have it. I know you'll love it, you'll use it, and absolutely thank you a million times. Very, very happy I have it. So let's look at some small curls and some feather sticking, and let's see what it can produce after using it and beating the snot out of it. So today I've got a 2x4 that I've been kind of messing around with a bunch of different knives, and I'm using the same piece. So I'm actually out today doing a bunch of gear reviews, and I want to use the same piece of wood for all the knives that I'm using. So let's try the Cudeman. Very gentle, very easy. I mean, that's a pretty pristine curl right there. And like I said, I've been beating the snot out of this through hardwood, softwood, knots in wood. I've gone through maple with large knots, pounded it through, and it still is producing really small curls. Very, very, very tight hookup right there, right up towards the end of the knife. It really wants to dig in, so you almost have to fight out of it because it's just so sharp. Working down on the tip of the blade, still holds quite a bit of sharpness. Now, I have been using the tip of this blade a lot in hardwood because I've been carving a lot with it, so I'm not too surprised that it's still very sharp though. It's still very, very sharp, but I could feel that I need to push a little bit harder. Now, for really digging in, I'll stand up for this one. It does dig in still quite a bit. So we've got some large chunks of wood here, great fire starter. We've got some very, very fine curls, and going back to those curls again, I mean, it produces them so nicely. And if you really want it to dig in, it'll dig in, but you can get good form on curls with this knife. Going against, because most of the time when I do curls, I start at the tip and I go all the way down the blade. Some people do it backwards. They'll actually start at the inside of the blade and they'll go down. It's all preference, really. I'm not too used to doing it that way, but it throws quite a bit of curls off of this piece of wood. Now, like I said, this is softwood. It works the same on hardwood. You get really, really nice curls, really nice pieces of wood. The spine is not, it is a 90-degree spine, but it's been polished and worked, so it is a little smoother, but it still will dig in to wood. So if you need to work a piece of fat wood or producing tiny little dust particles, you can, but it doesn't dig into a fire steel as hard as some of my other knives do. It does still work really well to throw sparks, but as you can probably tell, I haven't used it with a fire steel a whole lot. This is one of those knives that it is a tool, I am going to use it, but it just has that kind of look to it that you really don't want to mess it up a whole lot, and I'm sure I'll get over that, but it's a really good ergonomic knife. I found it's got good weight, it's got good heft, you can still chop with it, and it does dig in quite a bit. I mean, that's just light tapping, but it does dig in quite a bit, and it does perform. The tip is also fairly thick, so I don't find that that's going to break off very easily. All around, I mean, I'm really happy with it, and like I said, I'm very, very happy to receive it from a subscriber. So really cool. So this is the knife that I will be using. Like I said, it's my secondary primary knife. It's a little bit smaller than my custom knife that I had made. Probably about an inch shorter or so. So this is the knife that I will be using a lot, though. I will be using it quite a bit. Very interesting. I've never had a Cudeman knife before. I've heard a lot about them, but I've never had one. And I've gone through their website, I've gone through their Instagram, and they've got excellent looking products. And I got to say, I'm definitely intrigued, and I'm interested to kind of dig in a little bit more and see what else they've got. But this is the Cudeman MT5. It does come with different scales, so if you are looking for a different color, you don't have to get the white. I've noticed this knife in a couple of different colors and a couple of different looks. So that's the Cudeman MT5 that I've been using. I hope this answers some questions. I'm not a knife review channel, so I don't really dig into a whole lot of the specs and whatnot on the knives. That and YouTube isn't really friendly with knife reviews, so I don't do a whole lot of them, but just wanted to show this to you because I have been asked a lot of questions about it, and that's the knife that it is. So if you guys have any other questions that I didn't cover, feel free to drop it down in the comment section in the description, and I'll be sure to get back to you guys. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.